My boyfriend has a questionable friendship with another woman. I feel uncomfortable with my boyfriend's friendship with a woman he's known for about 8 years. Quick backstory: in order, met my boyfriend via a mutual friend at an outing. We got along great and we ended up hanging out a lot with the mutual friend. Us three. Since we were just friends, we would all talk about our sex/relationships with other people, so he's told me about a certain girl in another friend group of his that he's had a huge crush on for a long time. He's told me wants to marry her before but claims he was just joking, which I don't believe because I'm very good at reading the room. The thing is that I wouldn't have cared as long as she didn't know he liked her, and he claimed she didn't. Fast forward, he starts having a crush on me and begins trying to pursue me. It took him about 2 months of trying and I ended up liking him back after a while, and we started flirting and just got together. I got a weird feeling about his friendship with her and ended up going through their messages. I know it was a violation of privacy and I am working on it. That's a separate post, lol. Point is, I saw something in the messages that clearly makes it known that he likes her. But she wouldn't flirt back. I guess you could say she was just enjoying it and was accustomed to it. I told him I'm uncomfortable with that and do not feel comfortable with him hanging out with her alone. He told me that is understandable and has minimized interactions with her. He went extreme and basically stopped talking to her privately and would only see her or talk when we would go to group outings with his friends and I was there. Basically, I had a bad feeling about her because of what I just said, and she seemed to be the only one of his friends that weren't happy for us. She would respond, "Dude, what is this? When are we gonna see you?" While in the group chat everyone was happy for him and acknowledging the picture he sent of us. Alright, maybe that wasn't a quick backstory, but I'm very detailed because I want to know if I am overreacting or maybe narcissistic for only caring about how I feel and not considering his feelings about it. Feel free to be brutally honest with me. I don't want to have a false sense of self by thinking that how I feel is okay. Everything was okay until recently. His other friend is having a birthday trip soon. It's a 3-day trip to Orlando and she wants to rent out an Airbnb for a big group of friends. Now I'm semi-okay with him being around her for outings here in our living area but not hours away and for 3 days straight. Mainly because it causes me overthink and feel like there is some unresolved tension between them. When we hang out with that group for a few hours and she's there, I tend to feel drained after. I should mention that I am totally okay with his other women friends. This is not a matter of being jealous over any girl, just that specific one. I just feel like their interactions are not platonic like his other friends that are women. I feel like I sound so crazy right now, but it's time for me to get out of my thoughts and get an objective opinion from others. The question is, should I go on the Orlando trip and try to work towards being okay with it, or should I stick to my boundary and not go? My boundary might be irrational and feel free to let me know if it is. Also, if he goes, I would probably break up with him depending on how I feel. Sometimes I tend to convince myself I'm okay with it, but I allow my negative thoughts to come back and tell me not to be okay with it. So should I go? Should I get a therapist and work on my trust issues? Am I allowing my insecurities and previous relationships cloud my judgment? Probably, but I feel as if I have good reasons to feel this way. I should also mention that he deleted his messages with her because he says he didn't want me to keep looking over it and getting the wrong impression. I know they don't secretly text because she texted him one day after he deleted the message, but he ignored it and it has been there ever since. If you made it to the end, thank you for your time, and I'm sorry if I was a bit too wordy. I am considering leaving him because I feel as if he is deserving of someone who doesn't overthink and have trust issues the way I do. Also to work on my mental so I can view the world without the lens of my issues. Comment. Hey. For sure you need to work on your trust issues and insecurities. But in this case, if I were you, I would be the same. He liked her and for sure things can change, but as you said, there is some unfinished business there. I wouldn't care about whether she likes him or not, I would care about your boyfriend feelings. I might be wrong and please correct me in that case, but it seems like he is forced not to talk to her. Are you happy knowing that he doesn't talk to her just because of you, but if he could he would? Maybe you should have a good conversation and try to understand your boyfriend's feelings. If he likes her or if he is finally over. I get you so much. Because I was in a 7-year toxic relationship with someone that cheated on me, and now I am struggling in my new relationship due to trust issue, but I had to get my shit together because I was at the point to lose my boyfriend, and he is very loyal, never gave me a reason to doubt him. I know that this is not easy to live with, but this is something you need to sort if you really want to be happy in a relationship. Now, talking about this specific case, I wouldn't want him to go, but if you don't allow him, you will not live in peace because you will not put him under controlling rules. Also remember that people start wanting more what is prohibited to them. I understand you feel trapped in this moment, but maybe try different approaches. For once, try to stay calm and look confident and go with him maybe. Did he ask you to join? You will be able to analyze the situation and then see what happens during the trip. If you don't try, you don't know. You might see zero interest between the two and put your soul in peace, or you might see interest and then you will have to break up, but at least you know you don't want to be with someone that deeply likes someone else. In any case, if he wants to cheat, he doesn't need to go in a 3-day trip, he can do it any time as they are in the same group. If he doesn't want to cheat, he could spend a whole month with her and not touch her with a finger. I really get you, girl. I have been very controlling and insecure, unfortunately too. Took me 4 years of hard work to stop certain behavior, and still working on it. When you have traumas in the past, then you have to try to overcome them for your own happiness. If you don't feel like going, you shouldn't go, but you shouldn't tell him not to go. That's not right, especially for you, because you won't feel completely happy knowing he won't go just because you said no. Leave the choice to him. If he goes, then you try to keep calm and analyze the situation. If he is going to do something with the girl, trust me, sooner or later it will come up. I know you are scared of never finding out, but I am sure you are smart enough to realize it. There is always the chance he won't go because he doesn't want to make you uncomfortable, but at least he can't blame it on you in the future because it would. Completely agree with you. Of course you should share how you feel, and then he can act however he thinks is best. Also make it clear to him that you are not telling him not to go, you are saying how you feel, which is different. You don't want him to say one day that you didn't let him go. Just make this clear by communicating it and it will be fine. And advise here, try not to be passive aggressive, because I used to do that and is not nice for the other person. Say everything with calm and confidence. You would be manipulative if you would say, if you go we break up, but this doesn't seem to be the case. Next story 2. Me and boyfriend had a fight last night. When do you know it's time to end it? Last night, before he had to leave this morning, my boyfriend dropped a pretty big bomb on me. My boyfriend and I have been dating for about a year and 9 months. We did semi-long distance last summer while school was out, and it didn't go overly well. I was going to move to his city this summer, but my grandpa was diagnosed with terminal cancer, so I had to stay here to be with him. I am also a full-time student and I work full-time on top of that, so needless to say, this has been a pretty busy summer. My boyfriend came on Sunday to support me as my grandpa has been going downhill, but he had to leave this morning because he's going on a cruise this weekend. Last night, however, we were laying in bed and he asked me what time I needed to go to school in the morning, and I said it was early, and then he said that he wanted to talk. He then brought up how he didn't have a good time this summer either, and he felt like that when things weren't going perfect with us there was a bit of a disconnect. He felt like he couldn't be upset around me because, in his words, when either of us are having a bad day, there's just nothing there. He cited a time when we came home from a trip and he was upset about a family member's passing a few years earlier. He was crying in bed, which he hardly ever does, and I sat next to him and was on my phone checking my email. He hardly ever cries and I didn't know what to do, so I just went on my phone and sat next to him. This is what my sister likes, so I assumed that's what he would like, but he said it really hurt him and he went home that night. This obviously broke my heart. I grew up in a very unstable household, and I know what it's like to walk on eggshells. It's horrible, and I don't want him to feel that way. We agreed to press pause on the conversation until September. He's going on a cruise, and I have to deal with my grandfather's passing pretty soon. I just don't know what to do, and I don't know if it's right to end things or not. I obviously don't want to because I love him very much, but I do know what he's talking about, the disconnect. I have never been one to rely on other people emotionally, and as a kid, I was pretty much on my own. There are some things I've noticed that I'd like him to change, but this really breaks my heart. I don't know what to do. Comment. One of the things we're supposed to learn through early in life relationships is how to deal with our outside obligations and responsibilities while still being there for another person, and all of their stuff. So don't be too hard on yourselves that neither of you have quite managed that yet. Just being a full-time student and coping with a dying loved one is a lot, and you probably haven't ever had that much pressure on you all at the same time before. So maybe you didn't compartmentalize well enough. Maybe you put too much of your stress onto your boyfriend. But these are things we learn how to do through practice and master as we mature in life. Eventually you'll be able to deal with your own problems while still being able to set them aside enough to be fair to a romantic partner. It doesn't sound like he's looking to break up over this. So maybe just tell him that you're still a work in progress as a human, that you've learned a lot through these recent experiences, and that you know you'll be better equipped emotionally to deal with whatever the next big upsetting incident is in your life.